Hey guys, welcome back to Turntable Guy. The very slow summer continues here, but then all of a sudden you get a text message mentioning, would you like to service my Michell Gyrodec? And that's something you definitely don't want to say no to, because they're a fascinating turntable just to look at, let alone work on. And what you're looking at on the bench here is just the power supply for this thing. It's got a little issue over here with the cabling that we're going to have a peek at, but here is the motor. It's got an on-off switch here. It's a simple motor with a pulley that has a notch for 45 and for 33. And this anaconda looking thing here is the power supply, power cord. So what do we got here? Look at this. Look at my hand and look at this power cable. Absolutely massive. Now, this is the thing about audiophile equipment that drives me nuts. Okay, we're carrying 100, and if you're in North America like I am, we're carrying about 120 volts AC from our wall outlets. Okay, and this cord here is shielded, so it has either some kind of foil or it could have some kind of copper shielding. I'm not sure. It's totally sealed here, so there's no way to have a look at what it is. But it's 12 gauge, okay? So just to give you an idea, a 12 gauge cable is good for like running your power saws and all sorts of outdoor power equipment without any issues from a standard wall outlet. And basically this little power supply here is spinning a tiny little motor here at 33 and 45 RPM, and look at the power cord they give you. Is it overkill? Absolutely. Does it make any difference in sound quality? Absolutely not. Is it cool? Yeah, absolutely. It's ridiculously overbuilt. It's a snake. It's absolutely massive. It's heavy. I could talk for hours about power cables and how ridiculous audiophiles are when it comes to pulling AC out of your wall, right? It's just crazy. So look, there's the power cord for that thing. It comes into this power brick. This is the Michell HR power supply unit. There's not a lot of information on it. It basically tells you what power consumption is, which is less than a watt. And what you do is you plug in this end of it here, and then there's another connection here that goes to the motor. Okay. There's a speed adjustment pot here, so to once you get your turntable all set up, which is what we're going to do in this video, we will adjust the speed by turning this little potentiometer right there. This power brick alone, I think, is 600 British pounds. Okay, so this is very high-end stuff. And I'm sure there's people out there who think that, or hear differences by using this power supply instead of a wall wart style power supply, right? So is it probably more stable? Perhaps. I mean, it could very well be. It probably puts out a very stable voltage. So who am I to judge, right? I'm just here to look at stuff and get it going again. This one is working, by the way. The owner had some concerns about this. We've got some exposed cabling here. This strain relief has come back. Actually, I've pulled it back just to see what's going on here. It's a three-prong plug, but only two of the wires or these connectors have actual voltage on them. So I'm just going to get this back into position here, repair that, and then we'll start looking at the Gyrodec. All right, so I'm going to work on that, and I'll be back. There's our power connector. It looked like this part, something to point with here. This part of the barrel here was pulled backwards, and it exposed the inside soldering points of this. So what I did is I've moved it forward, and I've just put a little, the snaps that connect it, there's 3 little snaps here, they were pretty much shot and broken. It's probably, you know, from plugging and unplugging it. So what I've done is I put 3 little dabs of crazy glue. You can just kind of see them there, and on the other side as well. And I'm just going to let that dry, and then I will I'll clamp this. I opened up this strain relief here. This is how tiny this is. Look at my finger. I opened up the strain relief here so I could move it forward, and then we'll squeeze this down again so we get good strain relief. The wire strain relief's back here, but we need a good compression here to keep, once we move this forward, the actual cap, we want good compression there to keep that on. So, and I have tested it is working. So that is the power supply connector repair. Well, I just realized that there is undoubtedly a piece missing here. This cap only comes about to here, so it does not cover or lock into the connecting piece. So I just disconnect them like that. There's really nothing here for them to join. And that cap does not, the cap's the same. It's the same cap as this, but if you notice, it's missing this whole aluminum piece here with there'll be some kind of, this button releases the some kind of lock, so that's completely missing. So I don't want to connect them together permanently because, well, I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world, because I mean, you're going to disconnect it over here, and this is definitely a weak point. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Can I think about it? Okay, I've just stripped back some of the pieces on this connector, and as you can see there, basically we've got 2 wires, blue and red, and they are connected through that little barrel connector there. It's basically, we have a short junta wire coming out of here, going to a connector, and then we have a separate wire that runs back to the back of the power supply. So it seems like an unnecessary extra connection. So we are going to snip that. We're going to make a solid connection there, and then there'll just be you know, 1 wire going. And I guess they probably put that extra connector there just so you have a separate cable that you can, you know, change out to the power supply. But this is a mess. I would rather have these 2 wires soldered on here, and then the excess wire can be just wrapped around the power supply or the motor there. It just seems like a better quality connection to me than this. Like I mentioned, there's something missing here, and I can't get a good snap connection, and I just don't feel comfortable leaving this the way it is. I mean, this is pretty flimsy, and you can just get in there and yank it apart with your fingers. I'm not happy with that. I mean, yeah, it's a fairly solid connection, but as you can see here, you can just wiggle it apart. So I'm going to cut those. I am going to solder them together and shrink wrap it up and have a nice solid connection. Be back. That is the Gyrodec spinning. I finished soldering up that power cable, connecting it. I just had a quick look at the service manual. What we're going to do for this gentleman here is we're going to get these springs back to factory. They look a little bit off. If you look at the height between that one and that one, it's quite a bit lower on this side. So we'll go through the factory service manual. We're going to get that all adjusted. I look at the main bearing, which is spinning under this what looks like a carousel. It's fascinating. And it is super lubricated. He has kept up on his maintenance there. I'm going to rebalance the arm for him. This has got a Dynavector moving coil cartridge on it. I can't even do a test on my workbench because I don't leave a a phono preamp with a moving coil preamp on it. So anyway, I'm gonna have to move this into my main stereo room just to listen to it. But it is totally silent. I'm going to do all the main service points on it. I'm going to, I've already actually given that motor a drop of oil on the top and a little drop of oil on the bottom bearing. And I mean a drop, like the tiniest amount of oil. It is dead silent. The main bearing, like I said, it is lubricated. So basically it's just a matter of getting these springs redone to the correct height. What you really want to avoid is these, whatever the hell those things are called, smashing into the plinth here, right? So, and you can see how it absorbs vibration through the springs. Fascinating. That's the main support piece here. It's made out of plexiglass. You can see up there kind of how it's spinning. It's really cool. Definitely going to put it on my main stereo system and hear what it sounds like. We'll put it up against the old Tech 12 and see how it does. But we'll clean off where the belt rides. We'll clean the belts and stuff like that, and we'll go from there. I'm not sure what else I can really show you here. I just wanted to show you the deck itself. I might do a final look at it. I do want to clean off the aluminum form, give it a little polish, make it look real nice and new again. And just clean this and that, and just clean the stylus, and just make sure everything's good, because he's taking really good care of it, and the power supply is working really good. The main thing was fixing this cord here. Where's my joint? There's my joint there. We got it all soldered up and heat shrunk, so it's not going anywhere. So fascinating deck, eh? So I'll be back hopefully with just a finalization here. Hey, welcome back. So we're doing some finalizing here. I gave this is like almost a raw aluminum, give that a nice polish. There's a little bit of brasso on there, and I also polished these what can only be described as some kind of balancing weights, I guess. I gave them a nice polish as well, because there was a whole bunch of pitting on the brass. Cleaned up the arm, cleaned up the base of the arm, the brass over there. So I've leveled. What I did is you remove this aluminum piece altogether, and underneath there is this plexiglass base, and then you level it up by turning the feet here. You get it. You get this base level. So now what we're doing is we're leveling up the platter, and we're going to do a couple measurements here, and I'm pretty happy with level there, and then front to back. I'm pretty happy there, and it's just a matter of turning these springs, okay, until you get level. That's about it as far as leveling it up. The motor itself is all good to go. I have done a little bit of lubrication on here. I just like to clean out the old oil, just put a little bit of fresh oil in there. It's spinning absolutely beautiful. The bearing on this thing is just incredible. I also polished up the badge here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It was really bad. This is Gyro SE, J.A. Michell, England. So at least you can read it now. You couldn't read it before. It was so pitted. So, and we're going to put the motor in, and I can get my receiver to hear this cartridge. I just have to turn it up a little bit more. It is an MC, but let's give it a quick sound check. So similar to the Oracle brand turntables, you adjust these springs to a certain amount. The service manual recommended 1 to 2 millimeters from the top of that washer, that cloth washer there. So that's what they're at, about 1 to 2 mil. So they're all balanced by turning the top of those springs like that. So we're nice and balanced, left to right, front to back. And don't like handheld videos, but Oh, see, now I got to pause because I don't have the audio cables hooked up. Give me a sec. Okay, take 2 here. Gyrodec is spinning. I'm not sure if you're supposed to turn it off here or over here. I mean, they're both switches. I'm not sure exactly what the proper way to do it is. My guess would probably be this, because you want to be touching the motor all the time, right? So, turn it on. She spins. I'm just going to turn up the volume on my receiver because this is a low output cartridge. Very little output. Turn it up a little bit more. Can't play too much. Beautiful cartridge. Dynavector Carrot. I gotta say this, it sounds very clear, very nice. Does it sound better than Tech 12 or Rega P6 or P3? Or I don't know, right? I might hook it up to my main stereo system. I've got it here for a few days, so I might play around with it just to see, you know, what all the hubbub's about and see how it sounds like. But anyway, that is the J.A. Michell Gyrodec, however you want to say that. The servicing of it is pretty straightforward. It may look intimidating, but it is really not that difficult. You just need to bring out your normal practices of lubrication, motor service, and so forth. There's a little bit more setup involved as far as the balancing of the base and the balancing of the suspended system, right? But once you get that all set up, it's not that hard. It's fascinating, but you know, it's not hard. So anyway, I just thought you guys would really like to see this one. This is the first Michell I've had on my bench. Like I mentioned, the most exotic table I've worked on so far is the Oracle AC, and I've worked on an Alexandria as well. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye.